Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back from the brand new video. Today's video we are here with honestly one of my favourite videos to sit and do on the channel, because on one hand we get to see how our lads have been doing out there on the old international scene, seeing their form, what it's like coming back before they play for the famous again, is their stock rising, is their values soaring. We get to see all of that, and whenever it's time to do an international roundup, that means the international break is finally over, and that right there for me is one of the best things I'll say in this video. That's right people, it's finally done and dusted. The international break is over and it's almost time for more Rangers things. But before we get in there, there's always a video that needs to be done, and as we said, it is the international Rangers roundup, but we also have some interesting things to talk about regarding Allan McGregor as well. So let's dive into this, and if you love Rangers things as much as I love Rangers things, you know exactly where these videos start off with. Usually the home nation, where we speak about Scotland, we speak about Jacko, we speak about McLaughlin, but Jacko obviously withdrew from the Scotland international scene because of his recovery back from that injury. He doesn't want to go there and aggravate or anything like that. He wants to get himself fit, and he should be doing that in the next cup game for Rangers. And John McLaughlin continues to not get any game time, despite the fact that David Marshall continues to show us time upon time again that you can be great at saving penalties, but it doesn't mean you're a great goalkeeper. And I think the perfect example of that is that Israel goal. I mean, it's straight at the laddie and somehow he's flapped at it, but somehow John McLaughlin can't get anywhere near that setup, as David Marshall was dropped for the second game and Craig Gordon came in and actually played pretty well versus the Faroe Islands. But as there is no Rangers things to break down from the Scotland setup, let's push that to one side and transition in to speak about the brothers from another mothers, and that is of course Northern Ireland, and speak about our boy Stephen Davis, who went ahead and made history with an achievement. Honestly, it's hard to even put any words, because the more you think about it and the more that you appreciate that that record was held by a goalkeeper that many thought would never ever be broken, yet it's been broken, and it's been broken by a midfielder. That there is absolutely madness. But just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, just in case you haven't seen this already, we are of course going to mention and speak about and break down Stephen Davis becoming the most capped player in the UK. Which, despite it being 24 hours ago now, every single time it pops into the old noggin, a smile just appears, and it's just such a good feeling to see one of the good guys, one of the out and out footballers go ahead and become what he's became, and he deserves every bit of respect, every bit of congratulations, every single thing that's been said about him since he's broke that record. He deserves every ounce here, and it's one of the main reasons why I wanted to sit here and talk about it in a video, and it's why I love doing the international roundups, because we've been keeping an eye on this now for years since he's returned back to the football club. Now he's went ahead and done it. Honestly, it deserves to be broken down, it deserves to be respected, and it deserves to be discussed in today's video. So there's nothing but utter respect and just congratulations to Stephen Davis, to put his body through what he's put through, to sacrifice what he's sacrificed, to be always there for club and country from day one in his career. You can't do anything but respect and admire that. That's a player that deserves to be looked up to and hero worshipped, ladies and gentlemen, because that there is a perfect example of, if you work hard enough and you didn't get distracted and you didn't do anything in life, you're fully focused and you're willing to work your ass off for it, you can go ahead and achieve great things, and he's done that. He's never been interested in off the park sort of brand deals and made interest in likes and dances on TikToks and everything. No, he's been fully dialed in to be a footballer since he was a wee boy to where he is right now, and that's why he's been able to go ahead and achieve what he's achieved. So it's nothing but respect for our boy Stephen Davis. But regarding the actual results on the park, I'll tell you it was a bit of a mixed sort of three games, because obviously in the first game they were beaten quite comfortably, I'd say, by Italy, unfortunately 2-0, in a game that Stephen Davis played the entire 90 minutes, and that's when he equalled the record, by the way. Now in the next game where Northern Ireland was beaten 2-1 by USA, he wasn't actually involved or featured in that game, but in his most recent game, in the last game for Northern Ireland, they went ahead and got a 0-0 draw versus Bulgaria, which did see the record be broken, and it did see him play the entire game as well. And I thought he had a much better game in this one as well, in a game where Northern Ireland could and probably should have actually went ahead and won the game. But I'm not going to sit here and let those disappointing results put any negativity or even sour the accomplishment made by Stephen Davis, because the best thing I can say about this is the international break was worth it, because it allowed Stephen Davis now to go all the way to the tippity top and be absolutely clear. And I don't think honestly anybody will ever catch him. And for me, as I've said many times regarding Scottish football, regarding this league that we play in, Barry Ferguson, prime Barry Ferguson was my guy, but Stephen Davis is right there. Then it's a large gap in terms of midfielders that's played in this country over the last 10, 15 years. Two of them, absolute class, and Davis deserves to be in that class in my opinion. Now unfortunately I do need to move on, and I do need to stop praising and speaking about Stephen Davis, but as we are speaking about a midfielder, let's go ahead and transition in to another midfielder. And we're talking about somebody going ahead and making waves at his age. Well, let's go ahead and flip it to the other edge of the old spectrum and speak about our boy Hagi, who had his breakout moment for Romania, because it's been waiting, we've all been waiting for his moment to happen, especially over there, where again his dad is literally a god to Romanians over there. So everyone's been waiting for Hagi to have his moment, and after being subbed on late in the game of the World Cup qualifier versus North Macedonia, Hagi had it with a late winner. It's a beautiful finish. It set the scenes absolutely on flames, and right there was a very, very good win, especially when you consider North Macedonia just a couple of days later would beat Germany 2-1. Speaking of Germany, by the way, they also played versus Romania, and our boy Hagi, after that immediate impact being subbed on in the last game, got his start for Romania, and he actually went ahead and played just shy of 85 minutes, but unfortunately there was no goal or Hagi moment in that game, as Romania unfortunately narrowly lost out 1-0 to Germany. And in the last game that Romania played during the international break, Hagi wasn't involved and Romania fell to the 3-2 loss. But for the first time during the international roundup, I can honestly sit here and say there's been so much praise, because there was always expectation, and Hagi would come in and play sort of well here, sort of well there, but he kind of announced himself as a player on the international scene there, and I think you're seeing more, and you're seeing a lot more praise in terms of his work rate, his coming back, his tackling, his energy, and I think that's something that he's learning and picking up playing in the Stevie G system at Glasgow Rangers. So it was good to see that getting praised, and I'm sure with how wide open that group is, with everyone beating each other during the international break, I'm sure Hagi will have his say the next time the international scene comes calling. And as we're kind of working our way through talented midfielders from Davis to Hagi, let's go ahead and speak about another one then, shall we? It's time to go over to Finland and speak about saucy Glenn Kamara, who, if you've ever seen these international roundups before, this is the guy that always gets nearly unanimous praise, which is very, very rare when you go ahead and play an international duty. But the boy once again was out just doing Glenn Kamara things, and he's just always an 8 out of 10 for his country. Look at the match reports, look at what he's doing, it's always up there and he's always getting praised, and you can see it there. And again, it was a big international break for him, but in terms of the football and action, for me, he showed everything what he's about. Good on the ball. I mean, there was clips being fired out by the Finnish social media team of him just embarrassing players that's worth 30-40 million for Man City. Glenn Kamara's out here just nutmegging them and making them look absolutely ordinary. And again, fantastic work for Glenn Kamara, who went ahead and started 2 games for Finland over the international break. One being involved the entire 90 minutes and a 2-2 draw with Bosnia, and the other one being involved with the Ukraine game, that finished 1-1. Both games he played the entire 90. Now, the only game Finland lost during the international break was the game that Kamara didn't start, but he did come on for the last 23 minutes of the game versus Switzerland. But yeah, they went ahead and lost that game 3-2. But overall, unanimous praise once again from Glenn Kamara, who continues to shine and just get his stock higher and higher and just adding more value to this football club every time he pulls on that finished shot. And you know, son, you know your club's in a very strong position where you can spend, 4 or 5 minutes of a video speaking about just midfielders playing for their countries during the international break for World Cup qualifiers, but yet we're still not done and dusted, because there's yet another Rangers midfielder that's out there doing things on the international scene, and that is none other than Joe Aribo for the old Super Eagles, where again, I wouldn't say this one was unanimous praise like Glenn Kamara, where you're getting high marks, loads of praise, everything like that. I'd say this is a wee bit like the Stephen Davis one, where the performance wasn't maybe a 10 out of 10. You're seeing some people praising him for what he done, other people want a wee bit more for the laddie, but when you've got as much talent as that, I think you're always going to want that. And again, he did play the entire 90 minutes on a 1-0 win, which again is so damn positive. He will only grow on the international scene, and I'm sure the next time we speak about him, there will be more praise and more Joe Aribo things to break down. But in terms of Nigeria, their second game where they went ahead and won 3-0, Joe Aribo wasn't involved. He wasn't even on the bench either, by the way. But another Rangers player was heavily involved in not only the 3-0 win, but the 1-0 game that Joe Aribo played in as well, and that is none other than big Leon Balogun. We finally move away from the midfielders down to the old centre-back spot. And stop me if you've heard me say this before. Leon Balogun being praised for his pace, his strength and his commanding presence at the centre-back spot. 2 games, 2 clean sheet, more praise for Big Leon. We're obviously going to speak about a player that did go ahead and sign a contract extension very shortly in today's video, but that is one guy I want to see sign another year deal, because he was brought in as a centre-back when everyone was foaming at the move at Big Duffy. Oh, he's going to do this, he's going to stroll the league, he's going to walk the league, he's absolutely brilliant. But you know, son, the impact that was built up by the media hype of Big Shane Duffy going to Celtic, we actually saw come to fruition with Leon Balogun going out there and putting in the performances that Duffy was supposed to have. And I think that's a very, very interesting comparison to make, because they spent all that money, 40 odd grand a week, blah 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 blah, the loan amount, getting Duffy in there to put in the performances that we got from Leon Balogun for near to nothing. And again, I hope to God we go ahead and sign that lad to another year career extension, because he's just playing at a level that's so damn consistent. And when you play the amount of games that we play, you need that consistency. So I hope we get to see Big Leon Balogun once again holding that Rangers scarf up and announcing he's got another year at the club. Now, from one very impressive centre half to another, it's time to transition in to speak about our boy Big Phil, who finally gets some game time for Sweden. And that's good to say, because I'm sick of definitely saying he got called up but didn't play. But his performances, not only in the league but in European level for Rangers this season, has got the attention of the international manager, and he put him in there and he just went ahead and was Commander Helander, just so effortless, just a robotic fashion. He went ahead and kept 2 clean sheets, a 1-0 win and a 3-0 win, where once again the lad put in the performances. If you check his scores and everything like that, and you check how he got on, he got higher rating than Ibrahimovic, ladies and gentlemen, and they built up his hype to come back to the international setup. But they should have maybe focused on Big Phil, who absolutely strolled it. Yes, it wasn't against the hardest competition in the world, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And what Helander did was showed that he's steady, comfortable, can read the game better than anybody, and he's a fantastic defender. So Helander gets his opportunity, takes it with both hands, and again raises his profile and his value. Now, weird, awkward, high-pitched voice thing to one side, that is one that does really scare me coming into the summer, because what he's done, the fact he's never lost a league game in a Rangers shirt, now he's went there in a World Cup qualifier and performed to the level that he's played at, where again he was by far the best defender over the 2 games that he played. That makes me very worried for the summer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure somebody will be sniffing around Big Helander, but at least every performance, everything he does is just adding to his already strong value, in my opinion. Now, last but certainly not least, the last Rangers player that was playing on the international scene during the old break was, of course, our boy BB for Croatia. And again, we've mentioned a couple of mixed performances, where an iffy game here or an iffy performance here a couple times throughout today's video, and that's backed up by old BB, because again, it was mixed. Because if you look at his first game versus Slovenia, it wasn't great, ladies and gentlemen. They won 1-0 down at half-time, and BB was actually withdrawn 45 minutes into the game. However, he used that to channel him, fire him back up to his standards in the next 2 games, where he started the next game and played the entire 90 minutes, by the way, keeping a clean sheet and a 1-0 win. Now, for the last game that Croatia played, he was originally rested for the game. However, he was called upon in the second half, and he came off the bench, and he was absolutely brilliant when he came on as well, and he went ahead and got an assist with everything you expect for Barisic, the whip, the dip. It was a brilliant ball in, well put away by the striker in that as well, and that made it 3-0 in that game. So he responded to a disappointing first game with a clean sheet in the second and an assist in the third. That is why BB is just a guy doing that left hand side. It's great to see him take a negative that he got in the first game and gone ahead and drop in 2 positives. So well done to Barisic for responding and showing his mental toughness and his quality. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's reached the end of the old international break. Right frickin' there. If you watched any of the games, if you want to speak about anything in greater detail, dive down there in the comment section below and let's talk about the international scene and the players who rose their stock, played well, kept themselves on form, and it leaves us right into the weekend when thankfully Rangers Hings are back. But before we go ahead and wrap up today's video, there is of course one last thing to talk about, and I'm so damn thankful it wasn't an April Fool's, because when I saw Rangers tweet this out, I'm going to be honest, I went, oh, that's cruel. Oh, that's cool. I would have been able to pick up my PS5 controller with my arse cheeks. That's how much I tensed when I clicked on that tweet for Rangers announcing that McGregor had signed a 1-year extension. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, is it before 12? It's after 12. And it's real. And I'm so damn buzzing in the fact that Allan McGregor is committed. I thought maybe there was a slight chance that he was going to sort of walk away into the old sunset there. Having done it, returned back, got us back to where we are and played to the level that he did. I was slightly worried, maybe like a 1%, but when you love somebody and you know somebody is good, is that 1% feels a hell of a lot more than 1% of a worry. But I am so damn proud and so damn happy that Allan McGregor is going to be at this football club next season. It's obviously a shame for John McLaughlin, but still very good for his football club to have two very good goalkeepers going at it yet another year. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the latest Rangers news as well. Allan McGregor has signed a contract extension. I'd love to know what you're thinking down there in the comment section below. But as always, I've been CJNova92. If you enjoyed today's video and got involved, I will be speaking to you very shortly down there in the comment section below. And if you didn't mind hitting the like button, that helps it come up in suggestions and recommended videos. That'd be greatly appreciated as we try to spread the word about the channel and close in on 50k, because we're only 2 away now, ladies and gentlemen, and that is absolutely scary. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video, which will be the preview for Cove Rangers. Take care of yourself and bye. Oh, come back for a second. Just one more minute. I forgot to actually shout out Jordan as well. I believe he asked his missus to marry him and she said yes, apparently. So massive congratulations. He's a subscriber of the channel. I know she watches it as well. So congratulations, Nation Day and Nation Hings.